guys, so I'm trying to get the draggy connected here. It's having some issues. So I can do some 60 to 0 runs here. So let's reset here and see if we can do it now. So we're cruising at 60-ish. That one, 3.72 seconds. I think there's one more road up here that we can hit. I plan on installing the Brembos tomorrow. I'm going to try to get them installed tomorrow. So I'm wanting to get some baselines here today. Some stats, I guess, to see how stock Durango RT brakes compare to the 6-piston Brembos. And I'll only be doing the fronts. I don't have the rears yet. I'll probably get those another time because these are a little bit expensive. The rears are going to be about $1,080 for everything I need. So yeah, we'll save up for that for another time. Hopefully this year I can get them, and then. But what I'll do is I'll do the 60 to 0s here. That was my third one that I've done. The other two were a different day. I didn't film those. But I'm just getting some times put into the draggy so that I can come back and do them again after I get the front brakes installed. And then once I get all the brakes installed, I'll do them again, and just to see, you know, what kind of improvements we got. So slow down to 60 here. Make sure one's coming. Looks like we're good. It's 3.5. I think that was my best one. So with the draggy, it has to be on like a flat surface, no slope, or like no more than 1% slope. So it's been kind of hard finding roads that are empty, that are flat and straight as well. That was 3.3 seconds. So getting better here with them. Alright, so I wanted to give you guys a look at the wheels because I am going a cheaper route here. I'm not replacing the wheels when I do these brakes. I'm actually just going to do a spacer. So I wanted to give you guys a look at the fitment. The stock Durango wheels do sit in quite a bit, and I'm doing a 3/4 inch spacer, so I think they'll look pretty good with the spacer on there. I think they'll sit nice. Or I'm doing a 1 inch spacer, sorry, 1 inch. And you can see how much the front tucks in there, quite a bit. Alright guys, we are done. With the exception with the issue I had with the brake line, this really probably, including bleeding, probably would have only took about 2 hours. Like I said, on the driver's side, it took me 20 minutes to put all the caliper and the everything together, and then probably another 20 minutes to bleed it, and that was with the help of a friend. And then this side, obviously I had the issue with the brake line, this connection here, because I was trying to go stainless steel. I decided just to reuse the factory one, but they look pretty good. 15 inch rotors, 6-piston Brembo calipers, and then I did a 1 inch spacer on the factory wheels, which lets the caliper clear. And then I went ahead and put the 1 inch spacer on the rear as well, so you can see how much much more flush it sits. And I didn't want the rear sticking out funny, so I went ahead and put the 1 inch spacer back here as well to match it. So looks pretty good. Over driver's side, see how that looks. Driver's side Brembos. So now we're just gonna have to take it for a 60 to 0 test and see how it does. But hopefully you enjoyed that aspect of it, and we'll head to get the new 60 to 0 times. Alright guys, so what you just saw there was my first 60 to 0 with the new Brembo 6-piston front brakes. So it's Brembo 6-piston calipers with Powerstop 15-inch slotted drilled rotors, Powerstop Z26 brake pads, and that time was a 3.06 60 to 0, which my best out of like 6 or 7 runs on my stock brakes was a 3.46, I believe, or before the Brembos. That was the first hard stop I've done on them from a 60 mile an hour, and that was 0.3 of a second faster. So they've definitely made an improvement. I'm gonna head up here a little ways to the normal spot that I do my stopping, and we'll see how it does up here. Alright, here we go. Here's the second run. Let me get to the flat surface here. That was 3.13 seconds. So the first run was a little bit better, but it's still, that's better than the factory brakes, which my best was a 3.37. We're about to do our third stop here, 60 to 0, new Brembos. .03 seconds, so hovering right around that 3-second mark. I'm gonna try to get under 3 seconds. I'm gonna give it a fourth one. I try to do 5 here. It's the fourth stop coming up here, 60 to 0. 8th tank of gas, just like last time when I was doing the stock brakes. Let's see what it can do here. 2.98. Awesome. That's all I wanted to do was break 3 seconds. So that's huge. So definitely an improvement. Like I mentioned, 3.37 seconds from 60 to 0 was the best I could get on the stock RT brakes. This is a 2016 Durango RT. Just put in the 6-piston SRT Brembo calipers on the front with Powerstop Z26 drilled and slotted 15-inch rotors and the Powerstop Z26 brake pads. The rear brakes are still stock, still factory brakes. So definitely an improvement by just switching the front brakes. And I plan on doing another video after I change the rears out, testing the same thing, testing the 60 to 0 to see how much of an improvement the rears make over just switching the fronts and over switching from stock factory two piston fronts, 1 piston rears. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely made a good improvement, and I'm going to be posting all the runs and numbers in the description below the video here. But I'm a stats guy, and I wanted to be sure I got good stats of how the brakes did, and I mean, just using this draggy, it's definitely made an improvement. So I appreciate you guys watching. Check out the video where I did the install of the Brembos. That has all the links to all the parts I used to where I was able to keep my factory RT wheels. Definitely a lot cheaper doing it that way. $100 for some spacers and you're good to go. And plus it makes it look a little bit better with the spacers, pushes the factory wheels out a little more. And that I'll have that in the video. All right, everyone, so I wanted to go over some of the stats here, and actually, so I'm kind of an idiot. I've been looking at these 0 to 60s, and when it shows up on the thing, on the main page here, it just shows up as seconds. And I didn't realize that once you clicked in, it gives you the feet right there. And so I was thinking that the draggy didn't show 60 to 0 like feet, but it actually does. I'm not sure how accurate it is, and I'll get to that in a moment. But next to the seconds, it shows feet, and then obviously slope, and then everything else. But I wanted to go over the stats for the stopping distance after I added all the feet in as well. So here is all the stats, and I'm just going to start with the stock times and go over everything. So you can see I got them in order, best to worst on the stock times out of 5 runs, best to worst on the stock times, or on the Brembo brake runs, best to worst there. So as you can see, best run was with the stock brakes was 3.37 seconds, 60 to 0, and then I did that in 144.66 feet. The best with the Brembos was 2.98, and that was at 133.99, which this is where it kind of gets confusing because I've got other runs that are slower, but the feet is less. So my best runs based on feet was 131, but the seconds, in terms of seconds, it was the worst run. So if anyone can help me out with that, I don't really know why that is. I don't know if I'm missing something on that or what, but I wanted to kind of go over everything. So I averaged all these times, and it came to 3.6 seconds average on all these runs, and 160.74 feet average on all the runs for the stock brakes. Then I averaged all the runs for the Brembos, the runs I did after I installed the Brembos, and it came to 3.04 seconds and 134.28 feet. So there was an improvement here of 0.39 seconds and 13.5 feet better of the 2 best runs on each one. So of those 2 best runs on each one, the Brembos were basically 0.4 of a second quicker at stopping from 60 to 0 and 13.5 feet sooner at stopping from 60 to 0. Now if you take the averages and do the math on those, the Brembos were 0.56 seconds quicker at stopping from 60 to 0 and 26.46 feet better at stopping from 60 to 0. So that's quite a big improvement. I still think I can get a better time with the Brembos. So I'm probably gonna, do some more runs here eventually, and then update the stats. But all in all, 131 feet. It's pretty good. I know that like Motor Trend and Car and Driver, they'll have times that are like 124 feet or something like that. They've got professional drivers, and I'm not really sure, how they're measuring it. This is just an app that uses GPS, so I'm not even sure how accurate it is. But I also compared the best run of the Brembos compared to the worst run of the stock brakes, just for fun. 0.74 seconds better with the Brembos and 37.23 feet better. So that's pretty good improvement. But again, that's the best of the Brembos to the worst of the Brembos. The best of the Brembos to the best of the stock brakes, you'll see right here, 0.4 of a second and 13.5 feet better. So pretty good all in all. 13.5 feet's a decent amount. That's a car length, and that can matter between hitting something and not hitting something if the situation occurs. So I'm going to post all these stats in the description of the video, so that you guys can all see them. And I'm going to try to get out and get some more runs with the Brembos, but I definitely can't wait now to get the rear Brembos on.
and then see how much of an improvement that is over just having the fronts, and then see how much of an improvement it is over having, you know, stock brakes. I'm thinking it'll definitely improve over, you know, just the fronts, obviously, because the rears on the stock Durango RT, they're just a single piston. I think the Brembos are two piston, I want to say. So it'll definitely help. I'm just curious to see how much in terms of time and feet. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be getting a lot more stats and stuff on the Durango. I got lucky that I was able to purchase a completely stock one, and so I'm able to get all these baselines. Tomorrow, which is going to be July 14th, I'm heading to the drag strip, and I'm going to get some baseline quarter mile times, eighth mile times, eighth mile and quarter mile times, so that I can get those posted in here. And then once I start doing mods, like engine mods, and then hopefully I really want to do gears. It's just going to be a little bit expensive. I can't find anyone around me to install used ones, so it looks like I'm going to have to buy brand new ones, which is going to be a couple $1,000s, and then, you know, plus, you know, whatever it costs to get them installed. But I'm hoping I get some gears put in. I'm looking at 345s just because it doesn't have the electronic LSD. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.